GWI rotor. We're going to replace the bearings, 88504 on the blade end, 88500 on the electric end. But you have to pull this a certain way to grab the underneath rim of this fan. You're going to set the puller so it goes against this part here, and it pulls that up. And that can be time consuming sometimes. And then we got to do this again, right? Put it there. See, put these back in here. These nuts back on. Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight.
Yeah, Harbor Freight, yes. Never thought I'd be working with Brian Weekly on a motor. Come on. Let's see. We try to leave it loose so because sometimes you can get against that rotor and cause damage. Just make it just touch. See how it's not going up? Okay, so now it goes up, and it should be going against the bottom of that rim now. Well, what I did was, if you look here, I took the tool here to the retainer ring. Got to get the bearing retainer ring off of there. Spread. It's usually harder than that, but and then they also have 2 layers of different shims on here you have to take off.
That one's just one shim.
There's 2.
Oh, right.
You never know. Once the bottom one's thicker, it seems like, but then they get distorted too. But it really doesn't matter if you get a feel for when you put it back on. So that's ready to pull now. A lot of times I even put it on a grinder, my grinder over there, the wire brush, and I'm able to pull that. But
So you are pulling on the fan.
yeah, I'm pulling right on the fan. That there, just that. But that's why you got to get it straight. Sometimes.
And there's really nothing holding that bearing on now. So that'll come right off.
It's just pressure fit now. But see, you got to push it down back, get it past that groove to put your snap ring back.
Pressure and age.
Maybe a little rust.
At this point, have you put any PB blaster? Or
No, you can. I haven't. What I'm doing is eyeballing this straight with a rotor. You hold these 2 things here. Okay, I'll hold this one. You hold that one. Feels like it's getting there. I don't know. Brian's holding them good. I'm going to try it. I'll break it. I'll break it.
Yeah, that looks better.
I did it yesterday.
Your hammer.
I use a socket for that.
Yeah, that's even better, yeah. Let's hear that crack, come on. I'm not looking at the looks of that rust there on the bearing retainer washer. There it goes, I think.
That's good. Yep.
There it goes.
So you're on camera, so it's going to fight you.
You got it. This is so much fun.
Well, I have to admit, the first time I did it, I put the puller on this ring
Oh,
because I didn't want to be anywhere near the fan.
there are guys that do it.
But it bends that ring.
I can't imagine. Then I can clean this all up real good.
Yeah.
I was up against that. bearing retainer washer, and that. So then this one will go on top of there, but what we do now is, you can turn around, I'm gonna go to, we gotta clean all this up. So you're gonna see anything about safety glasses. You gotta have safety glasses on these things, these wire things break off. I already did this end yesterday, but they came up pretty nice. Try this one first. You know, I've seen guys take those rotors and put them on a lathe and make them look beautiful, like brand. Not lathing them, they're just clean them up. They're a lot better than a wire wheel. But I don't have a lathe, so. See what Jimmy does too? Jimmy will take these parts over down a wire wheel while I'm doing other stuff, which it helps a lot, speed along the process. Okay, let's pull this bearing. But while we're here, that's when I gotta put this thing bearing back on. That puller, where the puller? Now you just put this one on normal. I've seen guys too on other videos or the forum, they put this rotor in the freezer and it shrinks it. They heat up the bearings, they slip them back on, they don't need a bearing press.
I've done that.
I've never heard, I've seen it, I've heard it, but I've never done it. But how do they remove them too? They use the pullers and then they put them back on the other way, I guess. Yeah.
I didn't heat up the bearings, I just froze the arbor and just used a
And
piece of pipe against the inner race and just didn't even want any much pressure, just tapped the bearing on.
how about that?
Just use a little socket. And
Yeah.
just-
So I have a socket in my socket set that I stick on there, and I'm hoping it works here and I don't have to put the extension, but I might have to have longer arms here because of that extension. Well, I'm going to get behind you, Brian. Let me see if I can find this socket. Well, you see why I'm doing that? Because it's narrower than the rotor. Yay! I knew it was just about there. brake cleaner. That's gotta go in there, that's gotta go in there, that's gotta go in there. Now we're gonna do the trick that I've done.
Leo, if you didn't have everybody watch it, I bet it would have gone right on.
I know. That's the way it works.
There we go.
So you can see it's pushing down.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
That's how I do it for table saws as
Yeah.
well.
You can see the rim right there where the spacers go. No, this one.
I think that's just to, does that just protect the bearing?
It holds the bearing. That, it's a shim for a manufacturer to make it just right. Because I put these on and they turn with your finger. I've had to add shims because this wasn't, because they make these in different thicknesses too.
Right.
But the groove is manufactured for this one here. Putting it on is a lot easier than taking it off. Still turns, but we got it. What I do is, I gotta confirm that it got into that crack.
It needs to snap in.
I've got a couple of pieces of wood you may or may not want.
Okay.
One of them is a piece of white oak, not white oak, white ash
Okay, that's perfect.
before the board.
That's snapped in real nice.
And the other is a piece of.
What we gotta do is go
wood.
put this bearing on.
Okay.
That requires the
So-
press, but,
You can take them if you want them, and if they're never useful to you, that's okay
Yeah,
too.
if you don't have a press,
Yeah,
I
I'll
usually
take it.
just put it on the bench and
Never
put a
pay
socket
something.
on and just tap.
tap, 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 tap. Because I've read so many things about how
Yeah.
delicate these things are. and stuff.
But if you're
Cast down.
You on?
Yep.
And now we gotta take these end bells off so we can put the rotor back in with a new bearing.
Why don't you show us, so it's already been removed. Show the bearing, the arbor side so you can
Yeah.
see.
Let me. These washers are pesky little things.
Yeah, there's also, the washers.
Yeah, because we got this plate has to go back on after the rotor's put inside.
This is the old rotor right here.
Yeah, where's the? Did I bring the new rotor's in the vise?
Yeah, I'll bring it over in a sec.
That's a popular part for using.
And usually, when the owner originally took this apart, he had to heat this end up with a heat gun. You heat that up as much as you can, because the aluminum end will expand, and it will release. It will
That's what I had
release
to do to mine.
where the rotor goes into that. That's the new bearing. So that release, and that's good. What we're gonna do is heat it up to put it back in also. See, we have to put this together first before we put it in there. So we got the bearing retainer, not the washer there. This goes on here, heat it up, it'll fall back down on. then you put this in with the screw. That's why you do it now, because you can adjust it. When it's on, you can move this around to line up the holes, which makes it a lot easier.
Okay.
So. Yes.
And I've already blown out the motor, so it was caked with
Oh, it's amazing
sawdust.
what builds up in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't even get stuff through there. The stuff
Yeah, I
is
couldn't
filled
pull
up.
those out very easily.
And that's good because these things get built up with sawdust so much that heats up the motor. So it's good. That's part of the maintenance you do when you're working on a saw, is blow it out with a blower when you're working on it to make sure that's okay. So you can see that the snap rings on, the washers. The snap ring is not moving, so that's good. I just have to heat this up. Problem with this motor is the rotor was messed up, and the blade apparently wasn't tightened, and it wore this part of the rotor out. It's all wobbly. The blade won't go on it right, so that's really no good. That has to be, it can be repaired. I can repair something like
And
that.
these threads are kind of, you can tell that they're not straight.
Yeah. I think Brian told me about the thread chaser, or the thread file. I think he told me the thread file to fix threads.
So that was something somebody on the forum had recommended at one time.
Yeah, it might have been Paul. If you put thread files on. It's amazing with a thread file how many threads you can fix.
Right.
Because I have taps and dies, but then I learned that you need a thread chaser, not a tap, to clean threads. The thread chaser will clean the threads out.
I'm glad I got to meet him once.
What's that?
I'm glad I got to meet Paul once at the
Oh,
at the
absolutely.
water school.
Absolutely.
So have you ever met
Paul?
the grandson that's taken over the?
Yes, he was here.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was here.
he was up when we did the thing at water school. He was there.
Yeah, I missed that.
Talented kid. The stuff he does, the digital things he makes, the 3D models, he's a talented kid.
It's a talented family. A whole bunch of woodworkers in that family. Okay, that should be good enough. Now what we gotta do is, we're gonna take these 4 bearing retainer screws, and it's still hot to I touch. think there's 4 brothers and a sister.
And you can look down and see through, I can see that hole right there. But the problem is, I gotta line this one up with that hole, put this screw in here.
You have an apprentice for the day.
Absolutely.
This is an operating
You see the
table.
pay he's gonna want at the end, all these accessories.
That would make you the sterile OR.
Yeah, this is pretty clean for a workshop.
It was just freshly cleaned yesterday, and use this Pickle X 20 on this. Yesterday, that's it. I get that bottle, Pickle X 20. It's a bottle, it's $80. A guy just posted something on the forum about that. And I wouldn't use it for rust removal, paint removal, but you should have seen the rust on this yesterday. And what it is, it also is a protectant that'll prevent rust also.
I don't know, the chemicals in those de-rusters can be nasty.
Yeah. Oh,
Wear gloves.
the rust, the other stuff's really bad, but this stuff I don't think is that bad. And again, it's an $80 bottle, a quart bottle, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I only use it rarely, but it's a great rust remover and cleaner and preservative. All the body shops use them, they say. Now notice I'm just rotating each screw as I'm doing it, because that's pulling that washer up tight and pulling the end belt down towards it. So you get this kind of snug and try to rotate it side to side, side to side to tighten these screws up. Okay. New bearing, oh good. That's on there real nice. I knew you were going to try to see. So what you do is you try to line this rear rotor up, the rear cap, as flat as you can. You line it before you tighten everything up, so when you're flat surface, that helps. So I gotta heat this up so this bearing will slip in. How's that wire, 110 or 220?
I think it's 110.
Hold this motor while I stand it up.
There's that little block you can use. See that wood? It fits right in the. Oh no, on this side.
Okay, well, we're gonna go. All right, I just want to stand it up this way, but I use that block of wood, so. You okay there? Let's turn this a little bit this way. Line the bottom up in this a little bit. So you hold that way. And I like that block of wood. I might have to steal that block of wood.
Yeah, you can have it. I'm not doing any more of these.
See it going down? What is that, walnut? Okay, thank you.
I think it's
Like
cherry.
eBay.
E-Pay.
Good and hard.
You did a lot of work with E-Pay, didn't you? Your deck?
Yeah.
You know how many people I tell to check your websites out. If you want to learn how to line, buy a saw from me, go to Brian Weekly's website, he'll show you exactly how to line it up. Because I really don't do the fine tuning and stuff. The only one I've done is that GA. So what I did was I just got these on and I'm trying to hold that flush. I feel it. It feels real good. This could probably go this way a tad bit more. And we'll do that again once we get the nuts through there. That feels good. A little too much. Now these pesky little washers. My big fat thumbs.
Are we going to be able to plug it in?
Yep. Not with that, but. And I hope it's a smoke-free startup.
Yeah, I think I ran it. I ran it once or twice before I put it away. It's sitting like more fresh.
Oh, get it. Watch. This close. Sometimes close problem. Right. Focus.
Yeah.
I've snapped these before, so you gotta be careful.
The rods?
Yep.
Yeah, some people strip them if you go too tight.
It's almost like tighten it just a little bit more. So this motor's ready to run. Remember that one?
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay, I had one of these with a switch on it too.
Oh, man.
Jim, put your hand on top of that motor.
The wood's over here.
Keep your feet out of water.
He's got the gloves on. There you go.
Run in the right direction.
Nice.
Feel any shock, Jim?
Nah.
Look at that, nice and quiet. Yeah, victory.
Well, thanks so much. That's a beautiful motor.